So in a continuation of the work we did last time in just kind of exploring the different financial videos, let's take this problem and extend it to looking at a different payoff option. So first of all, in order to kind of approximate what happens in 5 years, I can say, make a little payoff table. I'm going to construct it from scratch, but I recommend going back to previous exercises with credit cards and just taking what you had there. Balance, you've got the finance charge. I move over to that one. And then you've got your payment. And from there, I can loop back around to the next row. So my balance starts off as 25,000. My finance charge is equal to the balance times the interest rate, but I'm dividing it by 12 because I'm just looking at a monthly finance charge. And then the payment is going to be 509.67, but I'm going to put an equal sign in front because I want it to stay the same when I do autofill. I'm almost ready. The balance here would be the new balance. I need to add the finance charge. I need to subtract the payment. And this is my new amount of money. Now, all of this can be formatted as money. And I think we're ready to go. So this one, I'm going to drag down one row. This one, I'm going to drag down one row. That's staying the same. That's good. Okay, here we go. All right, this is looking pretty good. The finance charge is going down because the balance is going down. The payment's staying the same. The months are increasing because they're going up 1 month at a time. I need to go out 60 months. And I've gone too far. And I've gone too far. And this is the last one. And this last payment looks like it doesn't need to be 509.67 because I'm going over by about 28 cents. And some of this has to do with the rounding, but basically I would say this final payment is going to be however much the balance and the interest is. So 509.39. So yes, indeed, in 60 months, I'm able to pay this off 100%. If I wanted to look at the interest, I could sum up the finance charge here just to see 557,992, which should be very similar to this one, about 5 cents difference. Then there's rounding issues happening in the background here because this formula is, although I'm only seeing 2 decimal places once I've formatted as money, there's actually more decimals behind there, which is having an impact on what happens. So I'm feeling good about all of this. And this proves that my payment, my PMT formula is working because it's giving me the amount of money I would need to get this paid off almost exactly to the penny in 60 months. All right. So one of the things that you're going to be asked to do is to say, well, what happens if you pay more than what you're told to pay? And this is a good way when you're in debt to try to do 2 things: pay the debt off faster and save yourself some money in interest. So let's take a look here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste. You don't need this table, but I want to leave it here for comparison. So this is what I'll call the original payment plan. Notice that when this happens with these pound signs, I just need to make the column wider. So now I'm going to paste this over here and call this new payment plan. And the only thing that it says in the instructions is to make sure you go more than $25 more. I like round payments, so I'm just going to update this to $550. So that's about $40 more than I was paying before. I do need to redo the autofill here because now I'm not paying 509 every time, I'm paying 550 every time. So notice that it's not that much of a difference. The interest, of course, the first time is exactly the same. Then it's a little bit lower. I can compare, but this is like, 50 cents lower, maybe $1 lower. So at the beginning, it's not saving me that much, but let's take a look at what happens over time here. This is the whole point of compounding. So after 2 years, This is 107. This is 113. I'm saving myself $6 a month. All right, that's enough for a chai tea latte. Now I'm at 69 and this is 80, so now I'm saving myself $10 a month. Do another year. Okay, 28 compared to 43. I'm saving myself about $15 a month. And I am there at the end. So these negatives I don't need. This one I'm going to fix to be the last balance plus the interest. So my last payment's only $363. So one of the things I can see right away is I've saved myself 5 months of payments. So that's nice. And I can do the math for that if I need to bring evidence along. Where does that number come from? I'm just taking, this is not accounting. This is just a regular number. I don't need the decimals. And then the other big question is, what about the sum of my interest? So there's a couple ways to do this, but again, if we have the payoff table, I think the easiest thing is just go straight to the finance charge column to give ourselves the ability to add up all of those fees, because that's what finance charges are. They're the fees for borrowing the money. And now I can see, oh, okay, this is really the thing that's going to help encourage me to do it, because I like the sound of saving $500. And that's totally within my control. If I can muster the money to pay the extra $40 a month, I can save myself $500. So this is the amount saved over the course of the loan. And, that's not nothing. It seemed kind of trivial as we were going through. It was like save $1 here, save $5 here, save $10 here. But as you add that up over the course of the loan, it comes out to over $500 of savings. So that's one of the really big things you want to be able to do here in this final project. And the key from my perspective, this is such a valuable tool for your own life, because when you go into debt, the bank is going to tell you, what do you need to pay every month? And what you want to do is take control and say, well, I could pay that much, but I could also pay more than that if you have the money to do that. And then you can sort of ask yourself the important questions, like how much time is it going to save me? How much money is it going to save me? Right? Because maybe I'm in a good enough situation to say, well, I don't need to pay $550 a month. I could pay $600 a month. All right. Now what am I going to save myself? So let's just do you don't need to do this for the project, but this is just to illustrate the point about the value of this tool. Is these are not hard questions, not easy questions to just like plug into an equation and have it crank it out. So it's nice to be able to see what's happening so that you can understand what your choices are. So in this situation, now I'm down to 50 months and my total interest is $4,543. So another $500 worth of savings if I can get this up to $600 a month. So again, the thing that you're producing, you're going to be using the PMT to figure out what your monthly payment is. And then you're going to do a competitive, there's also a down payment option where you pay $1,000 up front and then you get a 0.5% interest rate cut. But beyond that, you're going to do this comparison with a payment plan that's slightly more aggressive. So you take your payment and then you increase it and then by at least $25, and then you see how much it saves you over the long term. And to do that, you need the payoff table, which is what we've constructed here. This is one version of the payoff table. There's other versions in the credit card payoff. We had more columns. It doesn't matter what it looks like as long as it's doing the same thing. But one of the key checks before you start running off the whole thing is the balance continuing to go down? One mistake that people make, and I'll just highlight this so that it's very obvious, is they try to select the whole thing and then they start doing autofill. But when that happens, you see the $25,000 starts to repeat itself. And that means I never really make any progress on this loan because I'm always resetting the balance back to 25,000. Remember, when you autofill, you want to go from the second row where all the formulas are, including the number 2, and then you want to pull down from there. And this one should increment by 1. The balance should be going down. The finance charge should be going down. This should not be changing because I've set it equal to that number. All right. Hope that helps.